as promised, here are the ingredients to make my homemade chicken soup quarantine specialty recipe. It's a wonderful remedy for anyone you know who is suffering from a cold, the flu, or even to help to relieve symptoms from the coronavirus. I made it for several people who tested positive, and they said once they ate it, it made them feel better instantly. So it's a very, very simple soup to make. By no way am I saying this is a cure. I'm just saying that it helps to relieve symptoms of anyone who may be suffering from congestion. And it's really because of all the ingredients that goes into the soup. So these are the ingredients that you're gonna need basically to flavor the soup. So we're gonna start off with the broth. You're gonna add water, chicken bouillon powder, all-purpose chicken broth. You can opt to use low sodium if you want to, but that's why I add the water to dilute it. Chicken noodle soup mix, which is basically just more seasoning and noodles. You can use any brand that you want with everything going on. It's going to be a little harder to find some of these ingredients, so once you find it, that should do the trick. Chicken leg quarters that I cut in half. I like to use whole pieces with the bone because you get the benefits of the bone. Fresh corn with the husk on it. I'm going to cut that in half. Fresh celery with the leaves. I even cut the leaves off for flavoring. Red potatoes. Baby carrots. This is actually dry thyme because I couldn't find a fresh one. And hot peppers. Any hot pepper that you can find with the stem on it. Okay, so here we're just cutting up the vegetables, preparing them to put into the soup. Cutting the corn. I cut the corn in half. Adding the water. Your fire should be medium to high. Followed by the chicken broth. If it's on high, you can always turn it down after the soup starts boiling. Here I'm adding the chicken bouillon powder. I use the powder because it dissolves a lot easier than the cubes. Now I'm adding the thyme, dry thyme. And now we're adding the chicken. Chicken should be cleaned. I didn't put that in the video, but definitely always wash and clean your chicken thoroughly. Any meats before cooking. Adding the celery and carrots. And then again, now remember, homemade chicken soup, or I should say store-bought in the can, cannot be compared to homemade, because when it's homemade, you get all of the powerful immune-boosting antioxidants. And also with the potatoes, you can opt to use the red creamer potatoes, which are the small potatoes. And we're giving everything a good stir. And I actually used Jamaican hot peppers. And I added some more water here because it wasn't enough broth, so you can adjust as needed. Okay, now this is about 30 minutes later. So now I'm coming back. This is a very, very important part of the video. And this is what I think does the trick for people who are sick. Now with the red peppers, not only do they pack a very powerful vitamin C punch, but they're also an excellent anti-inflammatory agent. So you go in 30 minutes later and you burst them. I'm bursting them against the side of the pot, literally for the inside of the pepper to be distributed evenly in the soup. So I get it, some people don't like spice, but if you're sick and congested, you just have to push through this. And you can burst. I put 4 in. I think in this one I only burst about 3. And then the water and the broth help to temper it down somewhat, so it's not as spicy as you would think it would be. But it definitely does the trick. And now I'm adding the noodles, which I put towards the end. So now the soup has about another 10 minutes to go. And so I add the noodles last because I don't want them to overcook, because this pot takes about anywhere from 40 to 45 minutes. And there you have it, all done. And this soup is something else, I'll tell you that much. It's definitely a winner if you want to impress anyone when they're sick. Hint, hint, you just make them a pot of this soup and you got them. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy, and remember, the most important ingredient of all is love. Bye.